With round one of the playoffs set for the Nuggets facing the Clippers, what's going to happen? Let's dive in. You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. Let's get it. How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler, here for another take of Nuggets basketball. So I know I've been off for a little while. I had my little trip to Colorado, had some amazing time watching the Nuggets destroy the Grizzlies. That's not true. Actually, the Grizzlies kind of dominated most of that game, but the Nuggets came back in typical Nuggets fashion in the fourth quarter, holding them only, I think, to like 12 points or something like that. It was nonetheless, it was still a very awesome game to attend. Just the fact that most of the audience, I would say probably like 95% of the audience was very much into it the entire game. There are a lot of other games that I'm sure that you've probably seen or have been to yourself where the Nuggets Nation, I should say, their energy just really dies down when the Nuggets aren't doing well. This time around, the Nuggets willed them to a win. Like, you are going to win this game. This is this is fan appreciation night. You are winning this game for us. And that is definitely what happened. So, good things all around there. Happy to see the Nuggets win 3 in a row to close out the season. Awesome domination of the Rockets in Houston, or I should say against the Rockets in Houston. And now we're feeling a little bit better. 3-game winning streak does help. Now there's the week-long void that we're sitting in and waiting for the playoffs. A lot of talk happening for the playoffs. And, really let's take it back. So that last game of the season, we're facing the Rockets. Meanwhile, our opponents, the Clippers, were facing the Warriors. And if it wasn't for Draymond not sinking in that layup, we would actually be facing the Warriors in round one, which I was really hoping we would face. If you watch my podcast, I've been really wanting the Warriors in round one for personal reasons, because since I live in the area, I wanted to be able to cover it. Alas, the Warriors are facing the Rockets. And a lot of people, I should say a lot of media people, are kind of pushing the Rockets to win that matchup. And I don't think so. I think if there's one team other than the Nuggets who could actually really dominate the Rockets, actually, I think there's several, to be honest. I don't think they really earned that second seed spot as much as as people like to think that they did. Because let's remember, the Rockets were the 11th seed last year. They were not even in the play-in last year. They had a really good 11-game win streak at the end of last season, but then they tanked and they weren't able to complete the total crossover into the play-in, at least. So this time around, they dropped to, I think, 4th or 5th, just like 2 months ago. And because the Nuggets and the Lakers and the Grizzlies, rather, we all kind of struggled ourselves, they were able to battle back. So they did not earn that second seed as much as they like to think they did. You could even say, none of the seeds below OKC really earned their spot because we're all kind of more or less tied. This is probably the first go around of playoffs where the second seed to the 8th seed are all pretty much even. Like, we're all pretty much in the same exact boat. Same kind of struggles. None of us are really that great at defense. None of us are really great at offense. But we're in it, and it looks like it's a battle, but we're all pretty much even. So I think that OKC would dominate the Rockets. I think actually, unfortunately, the Lakers would dominate the Rockets. I think the Nuggets obviously would dominate the Rockets. And then the Clippers and the Rockets, that would be kind of interesting. I don't know actually who would dominate who in that one. But I know who else would dominate, and that would be the Warriors. So I am taking the Warriors against the Rockets for round one. And then we head over to Lakers and Timberwolves, which, as a Nuggets fan, I just love seeing these two teams go at each other, especially since both teams have been really chirping at Nuggets Nation for the last 3 years. And it is just delightful to now see them battling each other. If you remember last season, in postseason, after we gave Lakers the round one exit, we faced the Timberwolves, and the Lakers bandwagoned onto the Timberwolves, acting like all of a sudden they were Timberwolves experts and that they loved the Timberwolves and they wanted Ant-Man to win the championship and everything. And like, bullshit, you did. You were just Lakers fans wanting, saying that the Lakers were going to beat us in 5. And here you got a gentleman's sweep. So that's the one funny thing about the Lakers fans is they will say all they can about their dirty team, their corrupt team, and then they will leech on to whatever team beat their team in the playoffs. So, and then you got the Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves fans over the last 3 years really have not been very humble or gracious at all. They have, like, I feel like there was a time where I actually respected Timberwolves fans. They were kind of in more or less the same boat as us, but then as soon as we won a chip, they got salty for some reason. Like, they think that we think that we're better than them, which I never thought that we were better than them. Maybe there were some other Nuggets Nation fans that maybe gave that persona, but I never did. I've always enjoyed the Timberwolves. They were, I loved when KG was on there, you know, like I was a huge fan of his as he was when he was a Timberwolf, you know. Most of my mom's side of my family comes from Minnesota, so I never had any hate from the Timberwolves fans or the Timberwolves themselves until now, really, because I cannot stand how Timberwolves fans just naturally are in general. They are very reminiscent of Lakers fans, which kind of makes sense since the Lakers used to be in Minnesota. So I guess it just kind of travels with that team or that kind of area. So, but then we head over to OKC versus whoever is going to win tonight. And I kind of think that the Mavs are going to beat the Grizzlies. Call me crazy. I know the Grizzlies are having a better season than the Mavs. The Mavs have been a injury-prone, riddled team the entire season, even before the Luka trade, because Luka was out, if you remember, for several games with injuries. Lively had already been out, I think, a couple times before then. Gafford did the same thing. PG Washington. And so they've been a very injury-prone team the entire season. And then they lost Luka to that crazy trade. And though I have to say that they've been relatively surprising, still kind of sticking it out. And I respect that a little bit, you know? I respect that. I still don't agree with the trade for Luka. I'm sure you're the same with me. But props to them for sticking it out, and crazy to go into Sacramento as the road team in a play-in tournament and literally destroy the home team. So they clearly wanted it more than the Kings. I don't know what's going on with the Kings, to be honest. They seem to not really care or want really to play. They just kind of want to light their beam and then nothing more. You got to win to light the beam, and you don't even care about that really. So I'm very interested to see what next season will bring to the Sacramento Kings, because they've just been a play-in team for the past couple of years. So who knows? But I am... regardless of how well the Grizzlies have been playing, and they are still a play-in team themselves. They just lost to the Golden State Warriors, which I really was hoping the Warriors would win. So now, they're going to face the Mavericks. And because of PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, Dirk Lively, and Klay Thompson, I'm not even going to say Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis was kind of a no-show in that Sacramento game for like 3/4 or so, maybe a half of it. And so the rest of those guys, they've already been to the finals together, except for Klay Thompson. He was just added to the roster this season, but the rest of them have been to the finals together as a unit. They themselves are the reason why their defense has been very well coordinated. So I see something there, and especially they've already beaten OKC. So I kind of hope that they beat the Grizzlies and then they move on to beat the OKC, because the other big thing is I do not believe the Grizzlies can beat OKC. OKC will obliterate them. They'll probably sweep them, to be honest. I don't see Grizzlies winning even one game against OKC in round one. The Mavs, however, I think can at least make it a 6 or 7 game series, if not beat them before then. But they do have one of the best chances of beating OKC. So I kind of hope the Mavs do that, and so then we can take on the Mavs in round 2. Either way, though, as a Nuggets fan now, after that big win actually against the OKC that we had in OKC, I do not fear OKC as much. Yes, they had an amazing season, and they have one of the best free throw merchants in the league. But I'm not really as if anything, that game showed that the Nuggets can be a threat to them still. So either one, really, round 2, I think would be a good matchup, and hopefully the Nuggets could maintain energy levels to get through it and actually win and go to the Western Conference Finals again. And then it would be great to have either Nuggets versus Lakers or Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Lakers only because it would be great to sweep the Lakers in the Western Conference Final second time. That would be amazing. I would love to see that. I would love to see all of the entitled, arrogant Lakers fans crying as their team gets swept by our small market team, mountain team, if you could say so. But now let's just dive into the Nuggets versus Clippers. So Nuggets versus Clippers, right? We have two teams that I don't think really many people have been giving each team the credit that they deserve. They're definitely giving the Clippers credit, 100%. They have been giving the Clippers credit. If you haven't watched anything on ESPN really. Any ESPN or whatever that other show is on FS1 with Nick and Brew. I forget it right now, but those media people keep on propping up the Clippers, and I dig the Clippers. One thing I will say, that if the Clippers do win against the Nuggets, I will be rooting for the Clippers to win their first ever championship. I don't think that's going to win, or I don't think that's going to happen. If they win against us, they will probably be a second round exit then. But I do think the Nuggets have a better shot at winning than the media gives them credit for. There's two major factors. One, for the Clippers is, will Kawhi stay healthy the entire series? Will James Harden not do James Harden things and bail out towards the end? You can say that for the same thing for the Nuggets, though, with Russell Westbrook. He has not been a great player to have in the postseason. However, we do have one of the best playoff players in Jamal Murray. And will Jamal Murray show up as playoff Jamal? It's very likely. He could very much, shoot another full court shot right in front of the announcers' faces. Again, he could dunk on, whoever, but it will be a very interesting matchup. The one thing that media has been really talking about is that the Nuggets won the last 3 of their season, and they say big deal. That's nothing. Well, you're just propping up the Clippers for winning a bunch. Why can't you prop up the Nuggets for winning? Those last 3 games that the Nuggets won were against good playoff teams. One of them, the Sacramento Kings, who pretty much, they were actually on a winning streak before we beat them. And now they're no longer even in the play-in. They were an exit there. But they were still playing high-level basketball. I mean, you have DeRozan and Zach LaVine, who definitely wanted to win. And you have Sabonis, who wanted to win. But in that game against the Mavs, you also had Malik Monk, who was out. He's a huge portion of their bench. He's like, if you remember last season, he was named, or he was at least in the conversation for 6th man. I know it ended up going to Naz Reid, but he was in that topic of conversation. He is still a very good player. And when you take him out, that team definitely suffers. So, it's not some subpar, sub 500 team that we beat for that first win, breaking our 4-game losing streak. That was still a very good team. And then the Grizzlies, obviously, are still a very good team, regardless of losing their head coach, regardless of the struggling towards the end of the season. I mean, it's the end of the season, man. Like, end of the season, most players are battled and bruised and, hurting, and they're just trying to get to that week off that they get before the playoffs, unless they are in the play-in. So I don't think that they really need to, I don't think it's warranted to dismiss the wins that the Nuggets had. And then you also had the Rockets. Yes, the Rockets already had clinched the 2nd seed. That game didn't mean that much to them. That's what everyone says. However, they are still an NBA team. They don't want to lose any more than any of the other teams want to lose. They are still going to buy. Their case in point, they played their main starters in that game. All of their starters. They didn't play them against the Lakers, the one that they lost. They didn't play them there, but they played them in that last game because they wanted to win. They didn't want to go out on a losing streak, but they did. So that also gives me a little bit of reason for why I think Golden State's going to win that round 1, because I don't think the Rockets are mature enough to really take on a playoff series. So they'll probably do better next year for sure. But this season, they're not going to get probably past the first, and if they do, they're not getting past the second round 100%. So I think I'm definitely putting Warriors ahead of the Rockets, and then Nuggets and Clippers. I'm still, I'm Nuggets fan through and through, and so 100% I'm rooting for the Nuggets. And I think that a huge part of that is they just suffered losing a huge piece of their championship run in Coach Malone. It was a huge shakeup for them. But at the same time, you keep on hearing that they weren't listening, or they weren't hearing what Coach Malone was saying. What he was saying was kind of falling on deaf ears because they had already kind of heard it for 10 years, and some people less than, but they had heard it for many, many times, and it started to wear on them, and they weren't listening as much. And so getting that the fresh voice, which really wasn't that fresh. Dale Adelman has been in the lineup of coaching for a long time, and he's already been coaching them with the offense. There's very little that he has been adding to his coaching plate now as head coach. So he was already doing most of the work. So I don't get this whole like, oh, well, they need a new voice or whatever. The main voice they've been hearing is the main voice they are hearing now. Like now it's just with less yelling, essentially, and that's kind of one of the things that, being an athlete, you have to kind of endure sometimes, is just the yelling of your coach. And it's not coming from any kind of malicious background or intent. It's nothing but love and passion, and knowing that you are better than what you think you are capable of. Many coaches believe that their squad is better than what they think that they can be. So, I don't buy the whole that Coach Malone's coaching was falling on deaf ears thing. I don't buy that at all. I think the main thing was that him and Booth weren't getting along, and the Cronkies didn't want to pick one side or the other, and so they just kind of gave them both the boot. But now we're here, and now we're working with David Adelman. And before I had kind of already dismissed David Adelman a little bit, and I think it was just kind of in raw emotions, just kind of feeling it that, like, yes, he hasn't been that great of a backup coach, but I kind of take that back because I've really enjoyed watching him on the pressers now. I think he has a really good attitude towards the media, and you can tell that he's just a no-nonsense kind of coach. Like, let's just get down to brass tacks, that we've done nothing. We need to stay focused on winning. I love that. I love the staying focused on winning. That is something that they need to do. I hope that if they win game one, that they don't celebrate, and they keep on focusing on game two, and then game 3, and then 4. And if we can get this sweep against the Clippers, then still don't party. You have round 2 to go through, and we cannot be another round 2 exit like last season. We have to get at least to the Western Conference Finals, and really, ideally, the finals. I would love to see the Nuggets back in the finals this season, especially after everyone dismissing them. So, but with this matchup with the Clippers, so if everyone's healthy and everyone stays healthy, the main issues against them are going to be Zubac when he is on the floor with Jokić, because yes, Jokić, the one, and there's only one guy who can really defend against him is Zubac. Some people have said Anthony Davis. No, I think there have been games where Anthony Davis has been better at defending Jokić, but overall he couldn't defend against Jokić. I mean, are we all forgetting the finals or the Western Conference Finals when Jokić just made mincemeat out of Anthony Davis? Like, he would do the craziest rainbow, shoots from like the 3 line or even further back, just sinking them, nothing but net right over Anthony Davis. The spin arounds, like, I don't think that Anthony Davis has been a good defender against Jokić. He has been good at times, but not great. Not like Zubac. Zubac has been the one consistent player who has been successful enough to hold Jokić down at least a little bit. But he also can't play the entire game either. So then who you get after that? So their next big is Eubanks, and he's only 6'9". So if you have him as your center, and we have AG then, or we play DeAndre Jordan. I don't know if DeAndre Jordan's going to really play that much in this series. It would actually be great, because it would be great to have him and Westbrook both having revenge tours against the Clippers. But I just have a feeling that they're not going to play DeAndre Jordan that much, especially when the Clippers only have one big guy. I think they're going to go small, and with that, I think they're going to go with Aaron Gordon. If not, probably, unfortunately, and I don't want to see it, but I just have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to play Zeke Naji as the 5, and I hope they don't do it. Zeke Naji is not a 5 guy. He is 100% the 4. He is a forward. He is not a center at all. He's been horrible as a center. So if they do play a backup center, it should be either Aaron Gordon or DeAndre Jordan. Short of that, no one else. So if you, let's say you get DJ in there, now he's 7 feet. You're going to crush Eubanks definitely. And I think you kind of need to play a little bit bigger. I know that they probably would want to play smaller, but I hope that they play bigger, because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. DeAndre Jordan is one of our most aggressive players. Him and AG. Those are the 2 most aggressive players. If you want to win rebounds, you have to put in DeAndre Jordan. He is our best rebounder. He's even better, I would say, than Jokić. Jokić is fantastic at rebounds. He has even gotten a 20 rebound game, more than 20 rebounds before. But DeAndre Jordan may not shoot very well, and he may not assist very well. But you have him on the court to rebound and to set screens. That is what he's best at, and the occasional lob, and so I think that you get him on there to get you those rebounds, get the ball into Jamal's hands or to Michael Porter Jr.'s hands, or even AG's hands if the 2 of them are on the court together, and you just pray that those guys are going to be in sync this time around. The practicing that they've been showing has kind of looked like they're in better spirits. We don't know yet, but I really hope that they are in better spirits, and more connected. And then they keep on saying that Christian Braun hasn't even unleashed full potential yet, and that we're going to see that coming in this series or whatever. Like, he's some kind of transformer. Like, he's going to go on to the next evolution of what Christian Braun is. Like, I don't really expect him to be showing out much more than what we've already seen, which is already amazing. The best thing that I feel like we could see from Christian Braun is if he's able to actually shoot without second guessing himself, regardless of if it's a 2 or 3 or whatever. Like, be confident, shoot the ball. If the ball is passed to you, it's past you for a good reason, so shoot it. Especially if it's from Jokić. Jokić is probably only going to give you the ball if he believes that you have a good shot. And so if that's the case, take it. Take the shot. And so I hope that that's what CB does. I also hope that CB's defense gets better or has gotten better in this week. That's the one thing that I know they're not going to really show us what they've been doing in their practices, but I really hope that they've been working hard on defense. They need to work better on defense. I have the most faith in their offense. It's the defense that I'm very, very worried about. And especially when you talk about the Clippers. Now, the one thing that the media has been raving about the Clippers for is their defense. And I think that is very warranted. You have Jeff Van Gundy on that team, who is a phenomenal defensive coach. And it has shown. So that's kind of the one thing that we've been lacking is defense. We are an amazing offensive team, but our defense is horrible. And that's the one thing that I hope that they have been working on this entire week. The next thing I would hope that they would, and real quick, actually, on top of defense is, please, Nuggets, defend the 3-point line as best as you can without fouling. Please do not foul a single jump shooter in round one. Just please, Nuggets. That's my one plead for them. Do not foul a 3-point shooter. Please. This whole season has been nothing but either uncontested threes or fouling jump shooters. You don't watch the ball, but also don't foul the jump shooter. There has to be some middle ground, and I hope they've been working on that. So, what's next? The next thing is I hope that they have been working on free throws. The beginning of this season really made it feel like they had jumped to a new level of phenomenal free throw shooting. I don't know if you remember, but we were first or second in the league for free throws, and then it plummeted, and now we're lucky to even have a 70% game of free throw shooting. So I hope that they work on their free throws. I hope that each player is doing whatever they can to work and be better at doing what they need to get better at. If Peyton Watson plays, he's phenomenal in defense, blocking shots, especially against Harden or Kawhi or even Powell for that matter. If he can block a 3-point shot from Powell, awesome. But he also needs to be working on his ball control, just in those transitions and getting the dunks. I think right now he's being very synonymous or known for missing his dunks, and we can't be having that at all this time around. We have to have him dunk it or pass it to someone who can make the shot. That's the one thing. Or maybe you just have someone behind him to clean it up if he misses it, have him somewhat similar to what Michael Porter Jr. was doing this year, running behind CB. So in case CB missed the shot, Michael Porter Jr. was there to clean it up. You need that same mentality with both Peyton Watson and Russell Westbrook, because they both, I think, out of those three, Russell Westbrook, Peyton Watson, and CB, I think the one that is doesn't need as much attention, running behind them is CB. I think the other two are very much needing of someone to come up behind them to clean it up. And so I hope that the CB's or Peyton Watson's been working on his dunks in transition, and then. One thing that will be interesting is how much control they're going to give Jokić on the floor, because I know that already the Clippers' main target is going to be to try to get him the ball out of his hands, to triple team him and make sure that his assists go down. So we need our the others to really stand up. And that's what they've been really doing these last couple of games. I don't know if you've noticed at all, but several of these last couple of games, the Nuggets have been shooting or passing the ball, I think, like more than 30 times. It's like been like between 30 and 40 assists a game. And Jokić has only been getting roughly like 10 to 13 assists in the last 3 games. That means that 2/3 of the assists are going to the others. That means that they are actually sharing the rock, which is phenomenal. And that also means that they've been making those shots, because you can only get an assist if you make the shot. So that's really phenomenal to see within our Nuggets. And hopefully that continues. And I really hope that Jokić really, steps up more with being a coach for the Nuggets. It's phenomenal to see him be like that passionate that he's been for these last several games. He needs to continue that and feed that passion to the rest of the team, because I think if that happens and they're all very passionate, the same passionate that Jokić is, we have a chance 100%. MPJ needs to be confident. Aaron Gordon needs to be confident. Those two really need to be on their game. And then obviously the Blue Arrow, Jamal Murray. He is I think the make or break of this whole season, or this whole series. If we get Blue Arrow Jamal, if we get Bubble Jamal, sorry Clippers, you're out in round 1. You're probably even going to get swept. I don't care how good Kawhi will be. If you get Blue Arrow Jamal, because you already know you're going to get Jokić. And Jokić and Blue Arrow Jamal, there's no stopping that 2-man setup. Like, no one, like, don't, you can try Jason Tatum and Brown. Not going to do it. You can try Luka and LeBron. Not going to do it. You can try whoever else, Ant-Man and Randall. Ain't going to happen. Jokić and Blue Arrow Jamal are the best duo in NBA. So, if that happens, we got this. But if it doesn't, and there's a very big if it doesn't, we are in for a very heart-wrenching tense and very intense matchup that we will be having lots of heart attacks. I know that when I went to that game on the 11th versus the Grizzlies, we had just come off that win against Sacramento. It was a home game. We were feeling pretty good about ourselves. So we're thinking, oh yeah, we're going to crush the Grizzlies. But then we started seeing that the Grizzlies were leading for the majority of that game. And I think I had about 5 heart attacks in that game. Just from that alone. Like, please don't lose fan appreciation night. Please don't lose it, Nuggets. Luckily, though, they came back. And that's one thing that we have to give the Nuggets credit for, is that regardless of how ugly the game might be, and we are going to get some ugly games in the playoffs here, the Nuggets always have that heart in the fourth quarter to battle back. One exception was that last postseason against the Timberwolves, Game 7, where clearly we had nothing left in that fourth quarter. But regardless of that, we have been synonymous with having good fourth quarters. So hopefully the Nuggets show up there. So Also, I wanted to take attention to, I know that looks a little different, and the lighting looks a little bit different. That's because I'm getting ready to move. So the show will be, hopefully sometime around these playoffs, you might see a different studio around me. Good things are happening. So, we're getting ready. It's going to be a very interesting couple of days, So tonight, obviously, we have Mavs versus the Grizzlies to determine who faces OKC in round one. And we also have, the Miami Heat versus the Hawks to face to decide whoever faces the Cavs in round one. I'm hoping for the Hawks to win that one because I know that they can give the Cavs a good run for their money. They were one of the few teams this season that did give them a run for their money. They beat them twice in a row, so they have a very good chance of taking on the Cavs. And I hope that the Magic take out the Celtics in round one. That would be phenomenal. Please, Magic, give me this one gift and destroy the Celtics in round one. I would love nothing more than to see those guys be a first round exit. And then I hope that the Knicks will win against the Pistons. And then as far as the Bucks and the Pacers go, I think that's one of the few games this postseason that I care nothing about. I don't know about you, but I really don't care about that series at all. Whoever wins, fine. They're going to then face the winner of the Cavs and Hawks Miami game. So if hypothetically, if the Hawks were to beat the Cavs, or let's say they get into the playoffs in round one and they beat the Cavs, if they're facing, I think, either of those two teams in the Bucks or the Pacers, I think that they're losing. So they would probably be a second round exit if they were even able to manage to get past the Cavs. But if the Cavs are going to be as good and dominant as they've been this whole season, then I think most of us have a good feeling that they're going to be at least in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I just really hope that the Knicks meet them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I really, really hope that the Celtics don't make it to the finals. I really hope that. But I will also say this. If whoever from the East goes to the finals, there's only one team in that entire lineup that would be a worrisome matchup for the Nuggets, and that is the Cavs. So I kind of hope the Cavs, if they go to the finals, or let me put it this way. If the Nuggets go to the finals, I hope the Cavs don't. And if we don't somehow make it to the finals, then have at it, Cavs. Get yourself a second finals championship. I'm all for that. But we'll see, right? It's all really just kind of speculation at this point, until everything comes down. And it's crazy that so on Saturday is when the Nuggets Clippers game is at 12:30 Pacific time, which Mountain time would be 1:30. It's at freaking 1:30. It's like in the middle of the day. And to make things worse, it's also on ESPN. Come on now. So annoying. But the so you have, that's the only game that's in ESPN. The rest is on mainly TNT and then the NBA League Pass. So that's good. At least we only have one ESPN game there. But they're going to be wearing their fast break blues in that game. And then they play in game 2 in their navy blues. And then the thing that's crazy is that whoever's deciding on their jerseys for each game really loves putting them in those white jerseys, because we have 3 games in this 7-game series against the Clippers where we are scheduled to wear the white jerseys. Game 3, 4, and 6 all have the white jerseys. Game 5 has the City edition jerseys from this past season. And then Game 7, if it were to come to that, would be the Fast Break Blues again. So I actually honestly would like to see more of the Fast Break Blues, if anything. Like that and the Navy Blues. Stop showing us the white jerseys all the time. Like I'm kind of over the white jerseys. But so you got that. And hopefully we have a 4-game series and it's because the Nuggets sweep. But if not, then, 5 or 6 at the most. But either way, Nuggets win. And then I just also wanted to bring up, because the Stanley Cup playoffs also start on Saturday, and the Avs are going to be facing the Stars, who I would 100% compare that matchup to Nuggets versus Timberwolves. The Stars are the Timberwolves for the Avs, and it just makes it that much more of an insult that now Mikko Rantanen is playing on the Stars. We cannot be a round 1 exit there at all either. So that is going to be an evening matchup at 6:30 Mountain Time, I believe. So, and that would that will be on TNT. So if you got TNT, and you like and you follow the hockey, I should say, and the Avalanche, enjoy that game, because that's going to be an awesome game. I believe that is I think we have I think we don't. I think we're behind the Stars, so that's gonna be a road game. It's gonna be a very much tough round 1 for the Avalanche, but hopefully the Avalanche and the Nuggets can do it. And I would love for this to be the one year that they finally get to the finals in their respective sports at the same year. That would be phenomenal. Last year we had both MVPs. Now we get both teams winning the chip or their championships. That would be phenomenal. But that's pretty much all I got for this episode. I know this was kind of more of a random episode. There's no games going on right now. And we have to wait till tomorrow. But I wanted to kind of jump on here since it's been a while and talk to you guys and share my love, show my thoughts on what's going to happen. So it's going to be interesting, very much interesting. I'm very much excited for it. I kind of still wish that we were playing the Warriors, but oh well. But hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe, share it to your friends and family. And you've been listening to CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. We'll catch you tomorrow.